Hey, welcome back to Alive a Day for the month of May. And tonight we are going to do my absolute favorite quick and dirty dinner, which is known as loaded ramen. Now, you can go to a ramen house and they will charge you up the yin yang, and you'll basically get what I'm going to cook right now. And the thing that's interesting about ramen is you can actually put anything you want in it. So tonight's choices, I've got a bunch of frozen vegetables that I'm going to go throw in the pot right now. I've already previously fried up some eggs, and this is going to be the garnish on top. I've got a bunch of hot dogs that I cut up. You know, my husband likes hot dogs in his ramen. Okay, I'll work it. I'll make it work. Now, my hot dogs for the most part are not the most nutritious thing for you. But the hot dogs that I buy are 100% beef. Granted, that could be some bits and pieces that you may not recognize. But I've been in the beef industry for 15 years. So I know what goes in hot dogs. But that's okay, because I still eat them, because it's protein. But what I do is I buy uncured and I buy nitrate free. So basically, if you're going to eat a hot dog, you might as well eat a hot dog that's not going to kill you, or at least today. So, if your hot dogs cost 99 cents, maybe you shouldn't be buying those hot dogs. Okay, the other thing that I'm going to be throwing into the ramen, and this is also going to be a garnish that goes on top, is also known as fish cake. It's very common in Japanese cooking. It's basically fish with some fish and some fish. And for all of the nitrates that aren't in the hot dogs, they're in the fish. That's okay. The thing is that it's interesting. It comes on a little wooden block, and you have to cut it off the wooden block. So I'm going to gingerly. You have to be really careful with this, because you can slice yourself pretty good. So I'm not going to show you my adventures. So see, I've cut it off of the little wooden block. So now you're stuck with this little thing. And I just slice it into slices. So this is going to go on the top of the ramen once the ramen gets up to boil. And remember our boiling water episode? How long does it take to boil water? About 5 minutes, yeah. So now my pantry is full of ramen because everybody in my family eats ramen. They love it. And the thing that's cool about it is I can make a big old batch of ramen, and I can put everything I could possibly want in the ramen. And I know that my family's going to eat it, and I'm not going to feel bad about not being able to eat ramen. So, for example, this was my ramen bowl before my bariatric surgery. So this is big in my head. This is my current ramen bowl. So this is, so just for perspective, yeah. So basically, yeah, can you see? Yeah. So, yeah, I don't, but I'm very thankful for my surgery. My surgery has done wonders for me. I've lost a high school cheerleader. I have about a high school cheerleader left to go. And she's coming off, slowly but surely. Yes. So, anyways, so our water is at a simmer, which is, expected with, the frozen vegetables and that. This fish cake actually does need to cook a little bit, so I am going to throw it in at this point because I just took it out of the freezer, microwaved it for a couple of seconds just to get it to the point where I could take it off of the wooden block, and I'm going to throw this in there. So that's going to rock and roll for a little bit. And now I'm going to talk to you about the wonderful world of ramen. So most people, when they buy ramen, and I'll be right back. Okay, So this is most people's idea of cup ramen. You know, it's like 6 for $1, you know, or you got this guy, you know, which is the, you know, good old cup of noodle. And on Thursdays at my local Vietnamese market, they actually have fresh noodles that you can buy that are like the ramen noodles that you get when you go to a ramen house. Okay, the difference between a fresh noodle and these guys is these guys are fried, and they're actually, you can eat them just like this if you really wanted to, but I wouldn't recommend it. But the thing is that, you know, if you get the fresh noodles and you put them in with your broth and all that other good stuff, oh my God, that's so much tastier than this. But this is still pretty tasty because I kick it up a notch. Because, you know me, life is too short to not do things at 11. Yeah. So anyways, so tonight, this one, so I have this one, and it's, this one is, it says made in the USA, but it's for the Korean market. And this one is 2 servings per brick, and the brick is 550 calories. This one is my personal favorite, and the brick is 480 calories because it's fried, right? So since I only eat that much of it, I'm only getting about 100 calories on 5. So this is our good old, you know, chop ramen or marshan, and this one's 390. And the carbs are completely off the charts. But if you have enough vegetables and meat in your bucket, you don't eat that much noodle. So you can get away with less noodle. Now, personally, I mix. I don't care. You know, it's like, I'm going to make a packet of this. I'm going to make a packet of this. And, you know, these flavor packets, all they are is friggin' salt. You know, you can make different flavorings if you want. I have been known to throw, you know, I've been known to throw, like sesame oil, but the hot one, the hot chili oil, I throw them in there, all kinds of stuff. Now, this particular one, which I mentioned is my favorite, this one comes with 2 packets. It comes with this soup base that actually kind of tastes like Worcestershire sauce. And it's really, really, really tasty. And I like this one. And it also comes with this little package. And this little package says laber, dried seaweed. And so this is kind of like the little red, you know, the little green garnish that goes on top of your ramen bowl. Now this one is beef and fermented bean flavor. I have no idea what this one tastes like because I haven't used this one before. So we'll see. Now this particular ramen I think is kind of cute because it's round. And, you know, a lot of people don't deal with round ramen. So we got a little brick ramen and a little round ramen. So we're going to stick them in the bucket. We're setting the timer for 3 minutes, because that's how long these always take to cook. Now this particular one comes with a couple of different packages. This one looks like it says flakes. That's all it says is flakes. So it looks like dried mushroom and other stuff. I don't know. We'll throw it in the bucket. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what the flakes are. But we. You know what? I look at it this way. Have you ever been in an Asian market? Or a foreign market that you've never been in before, and you're looking at all these ingredients and they're in foreign languages that you can't read it. There's this great app on your phone. It's Google Translate. You can actually point your phone at the foreign letters and it will read it for you. It's a trip. I've done that several times, and I find it very, very, very interesting because you it says things like wholesome beauty or whatever the translation is, which are just insanely bizarre. Ooh, clock interlude. What do we got? Oh, the Blue Danube. Okay, so you can enjoy the music while I go stir. Now, we've got about a minute left before the noodles are what we call al dente. Al dente is to the teeth, which means it still has a little kick to it, and it still has a little bite to it, and it's not just a big soft mess. The longer the noodles sit, the softer they're going to get, and the less enjoyable they're going to be. So, the way that I set up my noodle for eating, what do we have? All-purpose kitchen shears. I personally like the flavor packet of my favorite ramen a lot. And so what I do is I put a little bit in the bottom of my bowl. So, because we know this is my bowl. So I just put a little bit in the bottom. Because I'm going to put the noodles on top of the flavor and I'm going to mix them up. And then the rest of the packet, go in there. And then, I don't know what this one tastes like. So we're going to try it. We're going to see what we're up against. Because we might have to change it a little bit. Let's see. Yeah. Ooh, it's got a kick. I don't know. So we're going to use like half the packet of this one. So, that's it. Dinner's ready. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you over to my little bowl of stuff, and I'm going to serve me up some dinner, and you're going to see what I just made. Okay, I'm going to flip you around. Ready? Well, adventures! We're flipping around. Okay, so there you go. That's fancy ramen with a little bit of everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a tiny bit of noodles. I don't need a ton of noodles. So I'm just making me a little bit of noodle. And that looks pretty generous, doesn't it? I'm going to give me a couple of pieces of fish cake. Yummy. Onesie and twosies. Then I'm going to scoop me up some veggies that I have cooking over here on the side. And just frozen veggies. Nothing spectacular. And then there's a couple of hot dogs in there. Get my little hot dogs in there. I've turned off the heat. They have one more little hot dog. Boop. And then flipping you around again. Hold on. Wah! Okay. Flipped over again. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to... Oh, I got to flip you back. Hold on. So, I'm just going to grab a little bit of egg. I'm going to put that on top. And see? And one last thing. Remember this little packet of dried seaweed? Yeah. So I'm going to take a little packet of that. I'm going to put that there. Bing, 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 bing. Sprinkle that on top. And then the very last thing that I'm going to do, what does Mommy say? Nuts and seeds are good for me. Nuts and seeds are good for me. Remember that. Nuts and seeds. They're good for me. So we're going to go to the fridge. In the freezer is where I keep my nuts. And the reason that I keep my nuts and seeds in the freezer is they have the propensity to go rancid. And nothing is nastier in this universe than a rancid sesame seed. Trust me, I have bought more than one jar of everything bagel seasoning with moldy, rancid sesame seeds, and I'm like, ah, hell no. You know, so when I buy those seasonings, I stick them in the freezer so that they don't go bad. That's your home economics trip for the day. Add shelf life to your nuts. Stick them in the freezer. Now, I have a couple of different kinds of sesame seeds. Now, this one is roasted white sesame seeds, and this is just plain old sesame seeds. So I like to do just a little bit, like just a little bit, just enough to give it a little bit of garnish on top. And then the coup de grace, the absolute bestie thing that I'm going to put on top of my ramen. Where'd it go? I just had it the other night. No, where'd it go? Where? I can't find it. So, anyways, I was going to put my toasted, roasted garlic flakes, which would have just made this perfect. But anyways, so there you go. Penny's little micro bowl of awesome ramen. So, if you ever in a pinch, need to feed your family, you got ramen in the back, you got some frozen veggies, doesn't matter what frozen veggies you use. I just use the good old ones that I use when I make fried rice. And you got a little bit of nuts and seeds, go for me's, and whatever you got, throw it in there. They'll eat it. Trust me. Yeah. And then you feel like a good mom because you came home from work and you're tired and you want to put something on the table that's halfway decent, that isn't going to make you feel like you're this horrible, horrible beast for just feeding your family a can of ravioli. No, you've made something with green in it, so it's remotely nutritious. Yes, you are capable of making a good meal for your family. Yes, you can do it. Trust me, Mommy Penny says so. So anyway, so that's your story for tonight. Awesome ramen. Yeah, alrighties. So until next time, don't forget, I love you. Keep watching. Alrighty, we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.